In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
I am recording to this computer.
I am also recording to this computer.
Um,
Hi, Chadwick. How are you?
Frank, I'm excitable. I'm very
Ooh.
pumped about a certain car I picked
Pumped?
up.
Like Swedish pumped?
Yeah, that too.
Mm.
But super excited about a car
Yeah.
I scored. I'm actually super
God damn
pumped
it.
about this one, my friend. Shots have been fired. The
Mm.
challenge has been extended. If you didn't tune in last week, you might be up in the air, but we're doing this fun little challenge for the upcoming rally, $3,500 or less total
This son of a bitch
build budget. And
already
I've
bought a car.
already there, baby. But yeah, I don't want to detract from your world-renowned intro. So go ahead.
Welcome
Put
to
a-
another Pointless Automotive Podcast. Yes. So no. Thank you everybody for tuning in to another
Yeah.
waste of everyone's time. Thank you for burning some of yours with us. And just to jump right into it, which I'm not one to do. Normally I go off the rails for a little bit, but in lieu of doing that, I'll go off the rails somewhere in the middle of our topic. But the topic today,
Perfect.
if you've been blessed with the majesty of sight and literacy, is what was kind of mentioned in the title, which is badge engineering, but like BAD, all caps, underline, italicized, bold, Comic Sans. Bad engineering specifically, because there's good badge engineering,
Plenty of
right?
it. Yeah.
I would almost say the shirt I'm wearing today, the Chrysler Crossfire, is a comical form of badge engineering, but that was pretty heavy-handed, right? That was more than just slapping a new badge on something. And I think that's where bad badge engineering happens, is when it's a car that just gets a very subtle makeover and brings nothing new to the party, and it kind of just seems like a waste of everyone's time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I wanted to discuss today, was bad examples of badge engineering.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. There can be many reasons as to why it's considered a bad badge engineering. It's so hard to say. I picture a goat. Every time we try to put emphasis on the bad part of badge, it sounds like we're saying bad engineering.
Bad.
But there's a lot of reasons. It could be a shittier vehicle. It could be subpar. Or it could just be a shameless way to pull in extra money by reprinting the same semi-successful platform item over and over and over again. And Frank, what's the greatest? The
worst?
Yeah, the greatest
example of dog
example
shit
of just absolutely cloning for badge engineering.
I think the one I'm thinking of, is not the one you're thinking of.
Oh,
and you can correct me here, because it's semi-obscure. It's very forgotten about. And I saw one busted and broken down on the side of the road a couple of days ago, which kind of doubles this down. Are you aware of the legend of the Volkswagen Rutan?
Yeah, the oh my God, otherwise known as the German Town and Country, if you will.
Yeah, it's a Dodge Grand Caravan,
horrible,
rebadged as a Volkswagen product.
It's on my list, and I gathered the sales numbers too. If you really want to get,
okay, I haven't done that homework, so I'm curious. But why before you get into the numbers, and I'm really interested, is why I think this is the George Washington on the Mount Rushmore of bad examples of badge engineering. It's multifaceted. First off, this is Volkswagen, which is a company I famously forget about, even though I like them.
The time.
The thing with Volkswagen is, unlike a lot of manufacturers, they actually have an incredibly storied history when it comes to compact van people mover transporters, if you will.
Sure.
And to just like push all of that aside and say, hey, we need a minivan, so let's white label a Chrysler product, is absolutely just giving your own van history a facial. Like it's like the most humiliating. It's a bonkers decision, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, shit's not that easy. You can't just snap your fingers and develop a new van. So I get it. But it's like you have so much history
Mm.
and you just decide, you know what, we're going to white label something. And but it goes beyond that, because not only are they not terribly reliable as a thing, and that's the one that you white label as your product as a Volkswagen. You now have a Volkswagen dealership that needs to try and work with mid 2000s Daimler Chrysler early CAN bus shit, and then try and work on that in a Volkswagen dealership.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not, the Volkswagen dealership is not going to want to touch that car to work on it.
No.
You take it to a Chrysler dealership, they're already bursting at the seams trying to keep the lights on in the place.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're not going to work on that car. They're already busy putting out all kinds of other fires and failed cooling systems on abused, Chrysler 300 2.7 V6s. And so you can't service a car. If it gets in a wreck, you can't get parts for it. It's such a bad object and a terrible decision.
Mm-hmm.
It really hurts my brain to think about. I think that is single-handedly the greatest single piece of badge engineering that you can point to and say this was a fuck up stem to stern.
Yeah. We went from zero to shit pile in an extremely fast amount of time on this episode. So the Rutan sold for 5 years, believe it or not.
Was it that many?
Yeah, 2000. I think it was 2009 to 2014, if I remember correctly. But anyway, I got the numbers. Yeah, okay, yeah, I got the numbers right in front of me. How about I read that? So they really were just getting rid of inventory. They didn't keep building them. They just couldn't get rid of them. So here's some awesome sales numbers. And this is a minivan. This is kind of, let's be honest, this is when minivans have kind of died off already at that time period. But anyway, 2013 saw 2,109 sold. 2014,
wow,
the final year, 1,103.
What was
it.
So the first year was 2011?
The first year was 09. So 09
okay.
to 2014.
How many of those did they sell in 09?
I don't have that number. I kept the saddest numbers, but it was never too much. They never really got rid of their inventory. So yeah, in the final year,
3,500 in the last 2 years.
The death rattle, 1,103. So they were already dead at that time. And like you said, it was simply a badge slap. They didn't do anything different to that vehicle, man. It was like refresh the bumper. Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe the bumper is a little different. And that's it. Some badges. Yeah. Literally badge slapping.
Even horrible. The name is bad. It sounds like you'd cut it open in like a tundra laden planet and like climb inside it to keep warm.
What if they just called it
about what that thing is worth?
What if they called it the Volkswagen Count and Towntree? Like just switch the letters, or like that's about what level.
I mean, they already did the tiger iguana thing with the Tiguan, so I just a bad product. And not that there were that many great minivans to be had at the time, but like, golly, that is my number. That's my George Washington. Who are you putting on your Mount Rushmore? Who's your biggest offender? Fair
enough. That is definitely the worst. That is the worst. But the greatest offender in terms of volume has to be the GMT 360 platform. It absolutely has to be, because
some of those were okay.
Not that they were bad. They were just shamelessly cloned. Yeah. I mean, and some of them actually were kind of offensive. So you had like the Oldsmobile Bravada, right? Mm-hmm. That was one of them. I think Buick Rainier, GMC Envoy. Can I do all this? The Isuzu Ascender.
Mm-hmm. The Ascender. Not the Axiom.
Probably the worst, the Saab 97X, and of course the Chevy Trailblazer. Was that it? 6 of them? 6 of them. The same vehicle.
Ascender, Trailblazer. You got GMC Envoy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I think there is 6. I feel like there might be somehow a missing one, like some random. They never did a Pontiac.
Nope.
They never did a Pontiac. Yeah, it might be it. It might just be just
6 of the same goddamn vehicle.
One was a Japanese brand, a bunch of American brands, and a Swedish brand.
Yep, go figure.
Which is crazy.
They were all the exact same thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad platform, but just get out of here with badge engineering. That's when badge engineering goes bad.
But
it's too much though. But to be fair though, Saab loyalists, which are some of the craziest engineers ever, right?
Yeah.
You slap a badge on a Trailblazer and call it a Saab. This
4.2i.
horrible,
Yeah.
horrible build quality compared to what they're used to. They didn't even Saab historically, and I don't think they did with the Subaru either. But remember how Saab used to, when it's a shared platform with other car automakers, they would go ahead and make the safety ramp it up. They didn't touch
Yeah.
these. They're like, fuck it, we don't care about your Trailblazer, send it. I don't think
Yeah,
they
I mean
touched it.
Saab was a GM product at the time,
Mhm.
and they didn't have the money or the corporate infighting teeth
No,
to be
no,
able to do like what they did with the Saab 9000 because that was a platform share car.
right. But
That was shared with the Alpha, the 164 Milano, and then the
Opel, right? No, that was later. Later, they shared it with the Opel Omega, the 93s.
Opel Omega. And
Yep.
what am I missing? Was it the Thema? The Lancia Thema? It might
Oh
have been
yeah,
that.
with the Ferrari engine in it. Yeah.
Yeah, available the 328 V8.
Super cool. But yeah, the only good one, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get like the Trailblazer SS version, the Saab 97, what was it, the 97 Aero?
97X Aero.
Arrow. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, at least in even the base models, you got the Saab vents of the Aero with the little nipple that you would like manipulate around. And
Horrible. And I mean, I haven't met a nipple I haven't manipulated, but
this is true. This is true. Even mine. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Especially mine.
I think that's probably the biggest badge offender, just pure volume, pure copy paste. I think the GMT 360 platform.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like another platform
Six,
that would
dude.
maybe rival it. I mean, what's tough is like you look at 80s and 90s, and just GM alone, there were a lot of, the one platform was like, what was it, the J body platform where you had like
Yeah,
the
but
Olds Omega slash Pontiac Sunbird slash
these
Cavalier
are
slash
all six of these were for sale at the same time in the U.S. domestic market. That's what's
Yeah.
shocking.
Yeah.
Like you could literally go buy one of, you could buy all six of these, have essentially the same vehicle
God.
with a different badge on it, all in the same year.
Do you think somebody in period cross
Owned them all?
shop that? No, just cross shop them all. Like, boy, I really
I'm
like
sure.
I really like the GMC Envoy, but like, I'm gonna try the Rainier.
Right.
And then they go try, and they do all of them, Isuzu all the way through to just like figure out which is. I'm sure somebody did. Like one human being tested them all out. And I wonder what the spread in pricing is. Like Saab 97 Aero X, or X Aero is probably the highest, down to like the base. I have to imagine either the Isuzu or
be a
the
Isuzu
or the Chevy.
Chevy,
The base.
I would say a Isuzu probably because they weren't selling as many. So
yeah, they were
marked
probably
down.
MSRP'd like $200 more, but they were probably actually transacting for like $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 under MSRP.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as like number of different badges.
If you had to pick one, obviously
those?
Aero off the table. Which one would you pick?
Aero and SS off the table?
Yeah, same deal. Yeah.
Oh, you know what it would be?
Ass ender. Yep.
No.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Have you no taste?
I want to move a grandfather clock, sir. So
okay.
He's going to
get the
Envoy
XUV. Yep.
Yeah, I got to get the XUV with the 5.3.
Son of a bitch.
And yeah, which is, God, do you think someplace somewhere there's like a Saab prototype where they like Saabified an XUV? And
God. I hope not.
Yeah, if
I genuinely hope not.
Yeah, if I had like oil shake money or something like that, I would commission the Saab 9X Aero XUV.
I mean,
crossover event.
You could probably literally plasma cut one apart and build your own. It's the same damn platform. So
I unironically do want a 97X Aero. I think that would be
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah, I think that's the one we both would choose.
Yeah.
And they're pretty rare. But I like the Ascender. I kind of like how the Ascender's front end looks. I love it. It's too busy. It's weird. I love it.
No, they're
final answer.
Yeah,
GMT,
that's an interesting pull.
GMT 360.
GMT 360. Yeah, a lot of. It's like you ever see the movie Multiplicity?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, very similar vibe. Um, a, f- a few things, and you know what? Like, really quick aside.
Mm.
Um, we're defining a lot of bad badge engineering.
Yeah.
Name like a really good badge
Uh,
engineering effort.
all things geo, like we talked about recently.
Sure.
Think
Yeah,
that
that's. I
was
guess. I
yeah.
guess I want to draw the line in the sand real quick as far as like captive imports because I like maybe excluding
But to,
captive imports, maybe not. I don't
I mean,
know.
they created their own badge to cover this.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that's the most engineering to a
the
badge
most
I've ever seen.
sure. Yeah, but like I wonder. Well, or even God, what about the Asuna Sunfire,
Oh God.
which
Here we
is
go. Geo
the
Metro, right?
Geostorm?
Oh,
No, that was the
Storm.
Storm.
Right. Yeah.
But like as a Canadian market only
Oh,
GM product.
sorry. The Metro was the Firefly. My B.
Correct. The Pontiac Firefly.
Get with it.
Um, but like I mean the greatest badge engineering job of all time has got to be the Pontiac Firebird, right?
Uh,
Just
mm,
overall.
better than
Maybe
a Mercury Capri RS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like a Mercury Capri
It's
RS.
not a bad one at all, is it?
No. Because I think they did a good job with it, just like and let's just talk like F body for now. I think they did a pretty good job differentiating those cars.
Yeah.
You know, the early cars, you know, first generation, it's just like they had different motors, different powertrains because that's how the motor divisions, the Pontiac motor division, Chevrolet motor, like that's how the divisions work. They have their own powertrains. But once you got past the 70s, you didn't have that excuse, and really anything in the 80s and 90s didn't. But I think styling wise, some powertrain wise, right? Like you can get the turbo Trans Am, stuff like that. I think they did a good job differentiating them all the way until Pontiac's demise.
Sure.
And so I don't know. I think that's the poster child of doing it right.
That's probably the answer, right? Yeah, maybe the cloud cars too.
yeah.
They
or
did
the
well.
the Plymouth Neon slash.
Oh, they
Chrysler
kept the
Neon
same name.
slash
They
Dodge
didn't
Neon.
even fully badge engineer.
Yeah, they just.
What do you got? You got another offender, or you?
No, I
You
mean,
trying to get positive
not
for a
us
second?
ender. No, I just wanted to like it's I like that juxtaposition because you can look at that and say like, hey, you know, a WS6 Firebird, mechanically identical to a Camaro SS, but you look at those two vehicles and just they have a much different attitude.
Ram Air, bro.
Right,
Ram
like
Air.
one is like they're both pretty brash, but like the a Camaro as compared to a Ram Air Firebird is they're very different vibes, if you will, and not to talk about Pontiacs like that, but you know what I mean.
Vibes and Matrix, if you will.
That's right.
There you go. Right into it. Right into it.
The like bad examples of that. So I saw a very clean Mercury Mariner.
Okay.
The other day. Which is a Ford Escape. This was probably like a 2010, 2011 second generation Ford Escape. And so I kept thinking, I was like, how different is that? Because I see, okay, different grill, different taillights. It's got a little like faux metal strip on the lift gate that just says Mercury.
Do you think it's
otherwise? I think it's completely and utterly identical. And so I did a quick.
But real quick, Frank, would it be safe to say though? Would that be a tribute to the Escape?
Oh, it is not the greatest crossover in the world.
Damn it!
This is just a Mazda tribute. And yes, same deal with the Mazda tribute.
Yeah.
But even in the Mercury, it's like, oh, we're gonna upscale it. And so I did a quick Google machine look, and you know what was actually developed as one of the biggest differentiators? They took the turn signal stock from a European market Ford, and they put it in that one. So the sound and the feel was distinctly European and higher class, and that was the big differentiator between the Ford Escape and the Mercury the Mercury Mariner. And
If we could insert a meme right now, it could show someone flicking that turn signal and like noticing the difference and being like, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
I
Big
was
of a
thinking of
difference.
the God, I don't know what it's from, but the meme with the middle-aged white lady like looking off into space and all the different
Oh yeah,
mathematical
yeah, yeah.
equations like floating around her head. Like that is what happens when she hits the turn signal. And it's like,
Mm,
okay, that's nice, but when the rest of the car is completely, you just are unable to
same.
differentiate it.
Yep.
Um, and what sucks is like that might actually be an okay product,
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
but like just how far we can do a whole death rattle of Mercury episode where like End Run Mercury was truly sad.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do you remember their marketing campaign at the very end? What their like tagline was in the TV commercials. I remember watching this in period and be like, oh my god, that's kind of embarrassing. Like
Was
how
it like Mercury? We're all gonna die someday.
no, it was
So
yeah.
effectively.
Come closer to the sun with us. Yeah. No, it was just like, talking about, oh yeah, the new Mercury Milan and ba 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 ba. You know, put Mercury on your list. Like,
That's
please
right.
at least consider us,
That's right.
right? Like, don't. It's not like, hey, we're competent, come buy us. It's like, just like put us on your list,
Mm,
right? Like, consider our existence,
okay.
which is not a great place to be, I think, as a manufacturer. If like you're just like, we're not dead yet. But
That's a long shot away from Alan Jackson singing about Mercury's going downtown and buying a Mercury.
right, yeah,
Big
no, it's
difference.
big difference. But yeah, like those end run and a lot of the end run, the dead makes now,
Mm,
whether it be Plymouth, whether it be Pontiac, and we talked long on Pontiac in the past, but Mercury, Oldsmobile, a lot
mhm.
of those were bad. The very end was just like a death rattle of bad badge engineering.
Sure.
Pontiac did it better though with stuff like the Solstice.
Like the
Um,
G3.
no, the
Uh,
very last Pontiac made was a G3.
no, it wasn't. It was
I thought it
a
was.
G5, I believe,
Oh,
which is
like
a
a
Cobalt,
G5,
which is a Cobalt,
which is a
and
Cobalt,
not a
which is more
private
bad
jet in this
badge engineering.
case.
It is
Yeah, I think the
no,
final
no.
one was a G5,
I
if
thought
I
it was a
remember
G3.
correctly.
Who knows? The
I
G3 might have been the very last new product to come to market as a
knew
Pontiac.
from Daewoo,
Right.
if you
Day
will.
new. Yeah. Um,
So I got a really good one, man. I want to
what
I
do you
want to
got?
get off
What do
my
you got?
chest. And it's not
Please.
because okay, so the badge engineering here, it's not bad because of the product.
Mhm.
So I'm going to talk about the Honda Passport and the Acura SLX. So these are
Yeah.
both Honda can't make an SUV, right? So
Mhm.
Honda Passport is an Isuzu Rodeo. The Acura SLX is a second gen Isuzu Trooper. They couldn't make
Mhm.
an SUV. So hey, Isuzu, this company no one gives two shits about at this point when these vehicles are out, right?
Not
With
to be
Isuzu
confused with
badges.
Asuna and the
No,
Sunfire.
do not. A lot of people make that mistake. It's a very amateur mistake, so
Mhm.
we're
Mhm.
not gonna entertain that in this program. But dude, it's Isuzu was already kind of phasing out of the country at that time, so they saw an opportunity. What a shame that Isuzu gets none of the fame in this case. Like
Mhm.
no one cross-shopped the Trooper and Rodeo. They bought the Honda much more, the Acura much more, and this
Mhm.
company Isuzu, which is actually pretty big in Japan and doing well, just never got a foothold in the States, even though their products were selling under a big badge called Honda. That's the
Yep.
saddest part about this badge engineering, and no one fucking paid attention. No one said, "Holy crap, Isuzu can make good trucks." Didn't work. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad to me.
Yeah, it is. And I think ultimately, and we talked about it a little bit in the Geo episode not that long ago, it's just like that kind of ended up, I think, part of the death nail in the US market for both Suzuki and Isuzu
Hmm.
was that they had to allocate so much of their product to other manufacturers to sell here in the United States, whether it be GM with Geo, or in this case, Honda Motor Company with those two products, where like they end up pushing their own brand out of the market by white labeling it for everyone else and having to meet production quotas and stuff. And so um what's interesting now is to see that happening now, but with GM
Right.
to Honda, right? With the What's that goddamn thing called?
It's the
Not the
prologue.
Prolapse.
It's the
Yeah, the Honda
prologue.
Prolapse.
A log produced by a professional. Prologue.
Yeah, well, depending on how a log is used or pulled out aggressively, it could cause a
pinched
prolapse,
off, if you will.
Yeah, and so you've got the Honda Prolapse and the Blazer EV, and so Honda is doing it again. Although now they're doing it with GM, which was it's an interesting world we live in.
It is
but you know what? I see a lot of those Honda Prologues. I certainly see more of them than I see Blazer EVs. And so it's interesting. I really want to see what the splits are as far as sales. If the Honda is selling 2-1 and it's the same car, other than some like subtle styling, really will go to show like, are they really that differentiated, or it's just the power of the Honda badge?
Right. That's a good question, right? It's one of them didn't have Apple CarPlay. I remember that being a point of contention.
I think that's GM.
GM uses its own proprietary thing, and then so people are going to the Pro. The argument was they're buying Prologues just for Apple CarPlay. I think people tend to buy something with a Honda badge versus a Chevy badge, but that might just
it's still I still think that's a bad play on GM side.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Let's ostracize our interesting buying loyalists even more.
Yeah, and I guess they get. I wonder how much more money they make when they sell a Blazer EV versus when a Honda Prologue sold.
It's a good point.
Or Prolapse. Yeah. Sorry, the Honda Prolapse.
It's no, I can't. I'm not gonna go there. It's
come on.
Yeah, good question though. Good question.
Yeah. It should be I don't know. Like if you get a new if you get like a new Honda Prolapse, and the battery goes to pot and you get a new one, is it like you get it's like a retread? Like you get, I don't know. Anyways,
I wonder if they cross train the techs, to tell you the truth. I wonder if you have to take it into like a Chevy dealership. I'd be curious.
That's a good question. I don't know. They direct you, or just like a weird like GM mobile trainer that probably goes to the Honda dealership and is like, oh yeah, like he pulls up into the dealership and takes off his like Chevrolet hat, puts on a Honda Motor Company hat, and walks in.
I thought you were going to say something like this old white guy does like a really racist Japanese impression. Like,
yes, that's what he does. He comes in and looks like a 6'4" geisha. It was just like
blonde man, with a beard.
Just incredibly offensive for like every possible reason. That's the world I want to.
I think we're halfway
just for
there.
my entertainment.
We're more than halfway there. I did have another one.
Living on a prayer. Yeah,
we're already kind of there because you mentioned it. The Pontiac G3 I did put on this list because. Fuck, dude. It wasn't, this was the death rattle. I think this was the final death rattle for Pontiac because it's a fucking Chevy Aveo. They built a Chevy Aveo with a Pontiac badge. Just GM's Pontiac is GM's excitement division, Frank. Why? And what is exciting about an Aveo other than the fact that at one point it had the most toxic interior of any car ever manufactured? It won that distinction. I mean, that's
like 70% lead.
That's pretty fucking exciting. Which is actually just a Daewoo, right? Like it's a Korean car. I think they actually make them on the DMZ because no one wants to claim it, the North nor the South.
This is true.
So yeah, it's like a neutral party there. But the G3, bro, is like, how the fuck did that get a Pontiac badge?
Well, it's funny because I think like there's a class action lawsuit where if you served at Camp Lejeune or owned a Pontiac G3 or Chevy Aveo, that like you can seek legal compensation for your injuries.
You should. You know what you never see?
Aaron Brockovich, I think, is involved.
You ever seen a Pontiac G3 for sale? I don't.
Oh God, no.
No, they don't exist.
I can't remember last time I've seen one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be. Have you ever driven an Aveo?
I've driven. Yes, I thought you were going to ask a G3. I'm like, I don't think they really exist.
Certainly never driven a Z.
So I drove a manual Aveo, which I thought would make it.
Me too.
Entertaining.
Absolute dog shit.
Rubbery, vague, just all the descriptors that are Motor Week retro essentials. Horrible gearbox, horrible motor, horrible interior, horrible car. There wasn't
Yeah,
like
the one I drove
anything
had like 70,000 miles. I was like, oh, it's actually nope, utterly irredeemable.
garbage. Even
Mhm.
I would say slightly below a first gen Kia Rio. Do you remember the very first
Oh,
Kia
I've never
Rios?
driven one of those.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah,
They're
you have to like downshift to go up a 10-degree differential at
right.
angle.
Yeah.
Horrible vehicle. But yeah, those Aveos were just trash. And I don't and this was late too, right? Like this was in the 2000 mid 2000s. And they just slapped a fucking Pontiac badge on it. They didn't really do anything. They could have like bombarded it with plastic cladding, I guess would have been kind of its saving grace, but they didn't even Pontiac it, man.
Like I think like I'm thinking like, if you're
Mm,
if you're working for an OEM, right? And
sure.
and you get to like assigned to the Corvette team,
Okay.
right? That's probably a really cool thing, right?
That feels
If you
special.
get
Yeah.
if you get assigned to the Chevy Malibu team, you're like, okay, like I'm making an everyday product, but
Mhm.
we're going to sell 190 of these every year,
Sure. Yeah.
190,000 of these every year. Or we're going to like my job is to, design the door cards or
Right.
the power window switches and then work with an outside like I think that would be cool. You can find a way to make that interesting.
Of course. Yeah.
When you are like discussing at the water cooler that you work with all your
Mhm.
coworkers and that you're working at Pontiac and that
Oh.
you're on borrowed time and then you get tapped on the shoulder and it's like, hey, you know what's going to save us? It's up to you to design the sales literature for our new product that's going to save us, the Pontiac G3. Do you immediately go to the nearest firearm sales vendor and purchase a revolver and a single bullet? Or like how do you like
That's when they
imagine you go to
installed.
like your like design school or whatever path led you
Yeah.
to be an enthusiast and work for an OEM?
I'm
Like, do
pretty
you do
sure.
that or do you just like is it only interns that are like, hey kids, like have at it? Like I don't it's just such a weird thing, It's like somebody has to design a paper roll holder. Like that's somebody's lot in
Hmm.
life.
Yeah, but they didn't even do
Like,
anything
do you get
different.
that guy?
This was straight up a Daewoo, so they just fucking put everything on it
There
anyway.
were styling differences, right? Somebody designed the grill, somebody designed the tail lamps, somebody designed the
Maybe
bumper covers, um,
some primitive form of AI
the
might have done it.
rocker molding.
I know
Yeah, right.
they created
The
they
monkey and the
definitely implemented
typewriter.
they implemented suicide nets during that period too. It's similar to Apple
Yeah,
in
the
China, right?
GM's tower there in Detroit by the waterfront. Yeah. No, it's but like it's just crazy to think about and some of that's like if you're badge engineering
Hmm.
even something like the G6, right? They're like, okay, like we get to make a sexier version of the Cobalt or whatever.
Right.
Like, okay, cool. Like, we're the performance, we're the fun division of this. But then you get the G3 and you're just like, oh, we're
Yeah.
all losing our jobs here. I see. Like,
Yep.
we're digging. I get to be part of our team that digs our own grave. Like, sick. And I get to
Yeah.
fly to the DMZ where the factory is.
Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, there's some bad examples. Badge engineering. I know we've had some positive conversations in the past. There's some good stuff that can come out of this,
Sure.
right? But I think what we talked about today is the darker side, if you will, of just slapping badges, man.
Yes. And
It's
if
bad.
you, dear listener, have some stuff that because we've left a lot on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff that's like forgettable but kind of fun, right? Like a Moss and Navajo.
Mm,
That's kind of fun.
kind of silly, yeah.
And so if you've got some truly dreadful examples of badge engineering and why, please comment us at us. Do people still say that?
I,
At me, bro. Is that a thing?
someone just did.
Yeah, we outside. No, I don't know. I'm not hip. I can't say any of this. But
Catch me outside.
yeah. How about that?
How about that?
But yeah, let us know. I'd be really curious to see like what we struck out on,
Mm.
and what we didn't put on our Mount Rushmore. Maybe the Honda Prolapse. I don't know, but yeah. Interesting stuff.
All right. Yeah, no. Badge. What were you saying? Badge. You're saying it like
Bad.
you sound like a goat. Badge. Wonderful.
Badage. Um, Buttigieg? No.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's a prolapse joke in there somewhere too. How about
I'm gonna pull up a quiz. You know what?
Quiz me?
This is the automotive quiz game show, and I'm gonna pull up an ad, and Frank's gonna describe what this little exercise in pain is all about.
Yes, Pain Olympics.
Ooh.
Google that if you really want to hurt yourself. Otherwise, what we're going to do today is our print ad quiz game. In today's rousing and arousing episode, Chadwick here is going to find a print advertisement for a motor vehicle from the 80s and 90s into the mid 2000s. He's going to read the type copy while omitting anything overly identifying about said car. I will then get 10 minutes, 3 guesses. I can ask for hints. If I get any of my guesses wrong, which I will not do, please feel free to play along at home. It's fun for the entire family. I'm sorry that you now, if you were listening to this with your children, you know how to explain the concept of prolapse. Chadwick, I'm ready. What you got for me?
It's the third time today the word prolapse has been said right before my name.
That's true.
Yeah. I did say today.
The doctor is waiting.
Here's our advertisement for you. Good luck, dude. You're not going to get this one. So single page ad, vehicle. Jesus, Dutch angle, maybe 3/4 driver side, tearing down a wet road. It says at the top, born to be wild.
Oh,
get ready, my friend. So this is, let me zoom in. The old peepers aren't what they used to be. The all new blank attitude and all wheel drive. All standard.
Okay.
We admit it. We've got a reputation for having fun, giving a little attitude. So it's a natural for us to offer up the equally spirited blank. This new blank features the only, I can't give this away because it's so specific, but it is a feature.
Okay.
In the class. Plus the power of a 143 horsepower engine, all standard. And it's going to name some competitors.
Okay.
Kind of competitors. Yaris, Fit, and Versa don't offer either one. So whatever that.
Yaris, Fit, Versa. Okay.
Clearly
entry level.
Expensive vehicles. There's ABS and the safety of side curtain airbags standard. Now, that's probably an interesting line because there's not a lot of ads that mention both those technologies from very different periods. Plus, available electronic stability program with TCS. The all new blank. It's going to be a great ride.
It's going to be a great ride. Okay. Interesting tagline there.
10 minutes on the clock. What do you got?
Okay. I have a vehicle with 143 horsepower, all-wheel drive standard. God, it makes me think of a car we've sort of kind of done. My knee jerk is this. I don't know the tagline. They're not going to call out some of their other models, right? So this is not a Nissan. This is not a Toyota. This is not a Honda. Those are all Japanese manufacturers. So it makes me think this might be another Japanese manufacturer. Doesn't have to be, but it might be. At 143 horsepower in this era, we're talking side curtains. The Fit was in production, which came to the US in, was it 2004?
That sounds about reasonable.
Same with Versa. When did we get the Versa?
Maybe
I don't think we got the Versa till like 05.
Right in that ballpark.
Right around there. So mid 2000s. My knee-jerk reaction is this feels like a Suzuki SX4.
Feels like it.
But I thought we did the SX already, but that might have been the Aereo, which is also could be an Aereo. But then did they not do an Aereo SX? It's very complex.
Aereo never had an all-wheel drive.
I thought you can get an all-wheel drive Aereo. Okay. Well, thank you for the preemptive hint there, sir.
And for the viewers to know that we can't repeat vehicles. That's one of the golden rules on the program.
Yeah. Or we try not to. I'm sure we've probably stepped on our own dick.
I don't think
before.
we have, surprisingly enough.
Yeah. Did we do the SX? I don't remember. Or did we do the Aereo? Anyways, okay. I'm gonna let that bounce around.
He's gonna
bounce around
trick himself.
Subaru is not in at 143 horsepower. We're not, that dog ain't hunting. So it's not an Impreza. There was never a standard all-wheel drive Mazda that I can think of. I'm going to go with my first knee jerk just to get something on the board here. And if we've already done this car, then fool me once, shame on me. I think that's how that goes. I'm going to say this is a 2005 Suzuki SX4. Bean footage me.
All new Suzuki SX4 Attitude and all-wheel drive.
Right.
All standard. Features the only 3-mode I all-wheel drive in the class. That's a selectable all-wheel drive. So that is unique to the SX4.
How was the 3-mode? Wasn't it something like where it was like all-wheel drive and then there was like snow or some shit?
No, it was selectable. I think it was selectable 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, and then I think there was a low 4-wheel drive.
There? Okay.
Yeah,
so that's more like a conventional 4x.
It was front-wheel drive by default, though, not a rear-wheel drive.
Right.
But 2007 is the year. That's the first year of the SX4.
Okay. Yeah. Because
before we did do the Aereo, you were correct, but there was not an Aereo, not in the States anyway. You could get the SX wagon or the sedan that looks fucking horrible. Yeah, Aereo never had a all-wheel drive here.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought we did get that. But yeah, SX4, which I mean, fairly compelling car.
Cool
at
car.
The end of the day.
They built a WRC car off of it, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
I like them. I think they're super cool. They're pretty nice little packages. Like I always thought, like as a daily, it'd kind of be a good little sneaky, useful daily, right? We got a hatchback form. We got selectable all-wheel drive. You can get them in a manual. That's a good peppy little engine at 143.
Yeah, that's not bad. They weren't big. That's kind of all you need. I don't know how fun those motors are, right? Is it like Mazda BP kind of fun?
I mean, it's Suzuki. Suzuki kind of
Ford Duratec or Z-Tech or whatever kind of fun. I don't know.
The Suzukis were always kind of revvy, I thought. So the background's cool. It has the vehicle, and then I didn't want to give it away. This would have absolutely given it away. Not that you didn't get it on the first try, but it's casting a shadow on a brick wall, and it's a motorcycle with a guy riding it. And that would have steered you clearly into Suzuki land. So.
It's a Yamaha.
And you picked up on it, dude. It's going to be a great ride. Suzuki.
Yeah. It's going to be a great ride.
Cool.
Boy, they were really leaning into, I mean, that was like end of Suzuki sales in North America. Close. I mean, the Kazashi came later.
Yeah, the Reno came after this too. But I do like the
Reno.
The little hatchback,
I forgot about
baby.
the Reno.
Suzuki SX4. I would totally own one of these. I'd like to. I think they're cool.
Yeah,
I think it's cool, and it looks good. It's kind of a good looking vehicle.
So does that mean I can assume you did not pick yourself up an SX4 for the DWA rally?
I cannot confirm nor deny such a statement, my friend.
All right, a gentle man or woman or non-binary lived in this SX4. So congrats.
I mean, you could live in it. It'd probably be a little cramped, but I think you could pull it off.
Yeah, I'm trying to what.
They're pretty small. They're pretty short. Yeah,
I'm not sitting here to try and sluss out what you brought home, and it may or may not be an SX4. So yeah, cool. I'd like to play with an SX4 one day.
Yeah, it'd be kind of neat.
But
neat. Yeah, good job, man. First shot is a kill. I like it. How about some Project Car Progress? Have you got any of that?
Oh boy, sort of. I bought a car, but not for me.
Son of a bitch. Get your priorities straight, bro.
Cliff notes. So the way this works. Did I talk about this a couple episodes ago? Hunting down a new car for my parents. Did I mention that? I don't remember.
You said they were getting rid of the GX.
Yes. So I still have the GX. It's
Mhm.
going to. I now have it in my possession.
I forgot what vehicle you said you were looking at, but I remember you got something and it needed a couple things, and then it was going to be good.
Yes, and it is a 2010, not a Mercury Mariner hybrid, but a Ford Escape hybrid.
That's it. Yep.
52,000 miles. Paint is a tiny bit burnt, like up on the roof, but like fully loaded.
Mm,
Platinum, leather, Ford Sync backup camera, hard drive baked into it, all the things, right?
nice.
Gets like 31, 32 miles a gallon putting around town.
Not bad.
And yeah, I've since sluiced it out. I've gotten it to them. They've been driving it. There's one annoyance that I need to fix where there's like an upper little data screen on the top, like up
Mhm.
on the dash. It shows like the clock
Trip
and the
probably
exterior
like
temperature.
fuel economy, all that kind of stuff.
It doesn't do the fuel economy, but
Mm.
what it does do is when you adjust the HVAC control, because it's like auto, right? You set it to a temperature, it shows what you're setting it
Uh,
to up top, and that screen is just blank.
okay.
It doesn't power on. So, which is not the oh no, the time, whatever, not that big a deal. The exterior temperature, who cares? Also, when you adjust like the radio, it says like what FM station you're setting it to.
Have you tried hitting
Um,
it yet? I had a Honda Accord that did that back in the day.
I did slap it; it didn't do anything. But I
God
looked. I
damn it.
guess that screen failing. There's some solders in there that fail, and it's a
Mm,
common failure issue. So I found another one on eBay. $40 landed.
score.
So I ordered it. It will be here. It's not too difficult. You don't have to like take the whole dash apart. It's just like one trim bezel, and then a couple of I don't know what they are, 5/16 bolts or something.
Hmm.
And it should hopefully be plug and play. This is a tested, known working
Nice.
piece. So we'll see. So that's all I've really been up to. I haven't even had an opportunity to slap the intercooler badge on the Sprint. It did arrive.
Mm.
And it's funny because I can only get it with all the other badges that I don't need. So like the Turbo Sprint on the side and everything. So I've got extras of those, which is
Oh, that's
kind of
sweet.
fun. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
slap them on I don't know, a Honda Prolapse. I don't know, but yeah. And I didn't have to pay a duty. It just showed up. So I don't know how any of this works.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know. How
That's
how
a
about you?
good score. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time, but I have gotten into the garage a little bit very recently. The tracker had no timing belt or water pump on it for like a
Hmm,
good couple weeks, just hanging
cool,
out.
cool. Yeah,
So,
show me.
new belt on there. Super, dude. It's single overhead cam motor. It
Hmm.
literally has a timing belt that's yay big. So it goes around a tensioner with a
Hmm.
fucking spring, like a literal little spring that keeps
Nice.
all the tension on the time. I love how this like 25-cent spring would be the difference of you
Hmm.
like not having a working engine and having a working engine. It's kind of cool, like the mechanical stuff it comes down to
Yeah, that's
sometimes.
how my 924 is too.
Oh,
Single overhead cam, crank. There's just an upper timing cover,
mm-hmm.
like belt cover, and that's it. Like there's not even on the lower. You don't even have to take the crank pulley off. You just slip it over.
Yep. This is just one cover. It doesn't even have a lower timing belt cover or anything.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Single pop off. Very
Single tensioner.
easy job to do. And of course, it was super clean under there. Just tidied up a little bit more. New ASIN water pump on there, so it's going to be sharp. It'll probably be the last time that car or that tracker ever needs a timing belt. Based on mileage for sure.
Yeah.
But damn, dude, easy, straightforward stuff. I just need more time to button it up, and I still got a lot more to do on that vehicle, but. I just want to drive it, man. I just want to pop that top off and just go out now that
That's
the
right.
weather's nice.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, man. Just rowing the gears of that thing. So yeah, time about pretty easy. And of course I cleaned up the engine bay like I always do. So
Hmm.
everything gets engine degreased. I get high as fuck. I start
Hell yeah,
doing little
brother.
tribal dances around the garage. It's
Definitely just like
everyone fucking
windmilling
wins.
your junk around by
Oh,
yourself in the
dude,
garage
yeah.
with the door open and just like totally lost. Just yeah, fantastic.
You know how it goes. You know how it
Hmm.
goes.
Hmm. Yeah,
But that's it, man. I'm getting there. I'm getting some work done, and clearly I need to hurry up, finish so I can work on my rally car that I've already purchased
son
and
of a
have
bitch.
possession of. So
Son of
no
a
no
bitch.
no big deal, dude.
Your Suzuki SX4. Yeah, no.
That's a
And
great
I've made no
candidate.
traction on that front.
Yeah.
I've kind of just I've been poking around.
Hmm.
I'm hoping something comes to me, right? Because I end up getting stuff through like the Car Donation guys and
Right.
stuff like that, and And so maybe that'll be my leg up, but nothing really interesting or on budget has come through.
Yeah, honestly, because I was looking at so much at once, I was like, man, maybe I shouldn't rush. But then in my head, I'm like, well, what if you wait out and then it gets close to the end and you're making offers and you're not scoring what you need to score? So I'm like, yeah, let's just be safe. And I saw something and it was too good, had to get it.
Hmm.
And by
Yeah.
too good, sketchy as fuck. And I got
Hell
a lot of
yes.
work to do.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I kind of want to ask to see what you spent on it, but no, that's too much.
Nope.
We gotta wait till reveal day. So,
I'll let you know that it was under $3,500.
Okay.
Which is the rule of the game.
all right, he's got $5 to spend on
On
safety
gas.
items. Yeah. So, very good. Well, thanks again for everyone for checking
Yeah.
us out.
Please review, leave comments for the podcast. Listen anywhere you can. Also, YouTube guys, check us out. I've been up in the thumbnail game, and we've been getting some more hits on there, and we're getting comments on our videos. Frank,
Yes,
which
and
is
I genuinely want to get some comments on some bad badge engineering
yeah, we definitely
foibles that we didn't touch on. So yell at us to be like, you guys are profoundly mentally damaged and should not be speaking openly to anyone.
I mean,
because you forgot XYZ, and I want that feedback.
Yeah.
And make it like personally injuring, please. Like make it very aggressive and say like, your face offends me and the tenor of your voice gave me ED.
tickles my
Like that's
anus.
what I want to. Yes, exactly. Yeah, instant prolapse. We've come
Oh,
full
hey
circle.
now.
So,
Yeah.
if you've suffered personal bodily injury by listening to us to your nether regions, please tell us. Please continue to listen as well. Maybe one of these episodes will reverse that damage. And so continue to chime in, and like let's do this again. So find us on the Instagram as well. Yell at us through there. That's an option. If you want to yell at me directly, I'm the Photographer's Garage on Instagram mostly, but also other places. Find me or don't. How about you, Mr. Wick?
Yeah, mostly YouTube, Auto Obscure Garage for all your rescues, restorations, and reviews of interesting vehicles, tracker content coming out. And I do put an obscure short out every Friday for those following along. Little
Is that
informational.
I've been seeing the stuff come through
every Friday.
Laser tidbits. Yeah.
Nice little short here and there on some pretty cool cars, some little fun facts. So check it out. But yeah, guys, thanks again for listening. We do enjoy each and every one of you. Check us out on the tubes. Again, free subscription. Please hop on there. Leave some crazy comments. But we love you guys, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Ta-ta.
Watch out for that Honda prolapse.
Well, don't get lapsed.